working. Okay. Hello, 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 and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. I am so excited to have such a tremendous, amazing, beautiful soul on this podcast, and you're going to love her. Her name is Deborah Deras. And who is Deborah Deras? Deborah is one of the top Latina speakers and influencers in North America. As a sought after keynote speaker, she has spoken on stages for large corporations such as NBC, General Electric, JP Morgan, British Petroleum, Procter Gamble, Macy's, Kaiser Permanente, and State Farm Insurance. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited that she's here. In 2012, the eWomanNetwork placed her on the top 15 speakers of North America. And Hispanic Lifestyle awarded her the title of Latina Influencer of 2017. She's also a past nominee for Latina Business of the Year for both the Latin Business Association and National Latina Business Women's Association. She was presented in 2016 with a Latina Leadership Award by New York Life Insurance. And in 2018, she received a Woman of Influence Award in Ontario, California at All Women Rock Conference. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of having her here. She's so engaging, she's charismatic, she's positive. She is a woman who has been after her dream and is living her dream. So I'm so excited to have her here. And Deborah, please tell us, how did you get here? Oh my goodness, you're such an amazing Latina and you have such a power and influence for Latinas worldwide. And I am excited and eager to have you here. And I want all these amigas to learn more about you. But you need to tell us, although I know, but amigas out there may not know. So how did you become Deborah Deras, this amazing speaker?
Well, thank you so much. First, I'm so excited to be on the show. When you confirmed with me and you're like, I know you're so busy. Are you available? I'm like, of course I'm available. I cleared my whole schedule just to be with you and just to be with all of you amigas here. I am super passionate about inspiring Latinas in particular. It's always been my vision since I first started my business in 1999. And it's true, I was working for a government agency, and my boss soon found out that I was not going to be a cubicle chick. She couldn't keep me to a desk, even though I was supposed to be a vocational counselor. My job was to help Latinos with disabilities to get jobs. And I said, well, the best way to do that is if we started doing diversity career expos. Next thing you know, I created a business within the government. And me and my boss looked at each other at the end of like 5 years of grueling work. And we said, you know what, if we're going to work this hard, we should have our own business. And it really took that ganas that we Latinas have to be able to have the courage to quit my job after I had spent 8 years studying to get my master's degree to be in this position. And then to decide after all those 8 years that I needed to follow my heart to go after my true calling, which was really to transform professional Latinas all over the nation and now internationally as I started going to Italy for my first gig last year. But my passion for Latinas just began in coaching. And my first company was called Passionate Living Now.
Ooh, wow, that is amazing. Now, I know you have done so many things in this line of work, and I know I heard in your first episode of your podcast, because you have an
Ah,
amazing podcast called Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. And so I
yes.
was listening to your podcast, and you made a comment saying that, you know, I found myself not being too Latina for the Latinos and not being gringa enough For the
Right.
gringos,
Yeah.
because about your background. Can so you please share that with us?
Yeah, I think they called me affectionately like a coconut, like I was brown on the outside, white on the inside, whatever. Yeah, and I would go to Colombia and they're like, "Oh, there's the Americana," speaking broken Spanish or with an Spanish with an accent, whatever. And here, like, just because I never felt that I was fluent enough in Spanish, that I didn't feel like when I was in elementary school, we moved from New York to California, and in New York, I was automatically Puerto Rican. And then
Oh,
I came here and I was automatically Mexican. And, over there, they were calling me the N word. Over here, they were calling me a beaner. I was like, oh my God, I cannot win. And I just felt like I didn't fit in anywhere.
right.
And I really had to come to terms with that. And it wasn't really until I was 19 and I took a trip to Colombia and I realized my Latinidad is not defined by anybody's perception of
Ooh,
me.
right.
It's my love for my culture, my honor for the truth of who I really am, which is a human being, a spiritual being. The fact that I'm Latina, I'm super proud of, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me I'm Latina or not. And when I had that awakening, my whole career changed because I really believe all of us have a soul's contract. And when we listen to our intuitive guidance system, our intuition, it guides us to the right place at the right time. Because all of those corporations, when you started reading the names, I got tears. I was literally crying. I was like, because every single organization that you heard me get into, a Latina brought me in. Because
Oh,
there was no Latinas that were in their organization speaking. And when I first started my business, I was with the Latin Business Association. And because I was young in my 20s, I didn't feel it was taken seriously by the men.
right.
Like they would take me to lunch and I thought it was a networking, but it was like, hello. You
Oh,
know what I mean? Hola, preciosa muñeca. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I said, I just want to be only around women because they're the only ones that are getting me business. So
right.
I started, and this is what we as Latinas can do to handle our shit
Yes.
is don't wait for opportunities.
Ooh.
Create opportunities. Own your lane. And so I told the Latin Business Association, I can increase your membership. Let me start a separate group just for women. I said, don't worry, I'll lead it. I'll do everything. And I led it. And guess what I did every single month that I led it? I spoke. And when I spoke, the
Ah.
audience members got to see me, hear me, feel me, and that's how I got the Princess Cruises. That's how I got State Farm. That's how I got New York Life. That's how I got Macy's. That's how I got Kaiser. That's how I got so I just kept getting brought in, brought in, brought in from one to another. Latinas helping Latinas. Let's work together, amiga.
Yes, yes, amigas out there who are listening, you hear it here. Latinas helping Latinas. So you created opportunities. And so what piece of advice can you give to our amigas in creating opportunities wherever they're at? Because obviously you said we have a soul's contract. So how do we dig into that to create those opportunities?
Yeah, and I was meditating this morning about your podcast and on what advice I would have to handle your shit. So one of the things that I would hear people saying when I would say go for your visions or go for your dreams, and for the most part, my first 15 years of my coaching, I was only coaching professional Latinas and then Latinos, and now I coach everybody. But I would hear a lot of Latinas when they were going to go for their vision, like, "Oh, I don't want to do it. Sin vergüenza. What will people say? Like caring too much
Oh,
about what their parent family would say, what their friends would say, what people would think about them. And when I think about, creating your lane and handling your shit, it's like we cannot care what other people think about us. In fact, the more successful we are, the more haters we have, but we need to make them elevators. You don't see J Lo people saying that she could not act or that she could not sing or she's like, oh, well, that doesn't stop me from getting this gig, this gig, this gig, creating this empire. She just keeps going. And so, one of the ways that the Latinas listening can create their own lane is not to let that negative self-talk, that what I call your ego, that's not your amigo. It's your enemigo, baby. It's your enemy.
there you go, not your amigo. I love
I'm
that.
like buying somebody a t-shirt on Amazon saying your ego is not your amigo because it's going to say, well, I'm not good enough, or that imposter syndrome will come in, or that negative self talk. Who do you think you are? Or a feeling of not being worthy. If you have an idea, amiga, if you have gotten what I call a divine download, just a spark, oh, maybe I want to start this muffin company, or maybe I want to start this accessory company for dog. If you have that download, you have the what. And there are people, there are coaches like Jacqueline, there are coaches out there that can help you, that can support you, that can teach you the how. You just need to listen to that intuitive guidance system and take those next steps.
Ooh, ooh, that is, oh my God, that is such a huge download. That intuitive guidance. And I believe oftentimes as Latinas, we have it, and we just stop it. Just like you said, we just stop it either because we were told you're not supposed to do that. I mean, like, just for example, for myself, I can say as a lawyer, I've been practicing, litigating, counseling, coaching for these past 20 years. And it
Right.
came to a point where I was breaking down in my body and in my mind, and I didn't know what to do. And everything kept saying, like, Jackie, you're just a lawyer. There's no need to pivot. There's no need to change. And then I just said, no, there's something other happening in me. And I said, okay, what is this, God? What is this? What do you want me to do? And listening to my intuition, it allowed me to come forward and say, like, I need to reach the masses. God said
Yes.
you need to reach the masses. And so what was one of the things? Do a podcast. And I'm like,
Mira, mírala, mírala, síguela.
right? And it just like, I have, family and friends who are like, what the heck is she doing? Like, she's a lawyer. Like, what is this? And so I love what you were saying is, like, you follow your intuition, you make it happen. Don't, like, erase those filters, erase those borderlines. And I love what is going on now. And I feel now, especially during this time, it is
Yes.
the most perfect opportunity to do what your heart is saying.
2020 is giving us clarity, right? 2020 vision is you could
Yes,
see things clearly. So
yes.
things are being revealed to be healed. And whatever is out of integrity with your soul or with the soul of America is being is coming up to the surface so that we can make changes. And anytime you make changes and you go through transformation, it is uncomfortable. And what 2020 is boot camp training us to do is to get comfortable being uncomfortable and going forward anyway. And I love what you said about listening to your intuition. And I'm writing a new book called Align for Success on how to hear your intuitive guidance system
Ooh,
because many people are so tuned in to that ego, that the edging good out voice that
yeah.
sometimes is a critical parent, your critical mother, or critical father, who are you to do that? Like my dad, he's so amazing. He's loving. He's from Bogota, Colombia. He was killing me. I was killing him that I was going to lose my health insurance. I was like, but dad, I have such a bigger vision. I'm going to be able to pay for my own. I do. I pay for my own health insurance. But that intuition, it's when you ask your higher self, that is your super conscious mind Carl Jung talked about. What is my soul's contract? What is my purpose? And then you listen. And the difference between the ego and the intuition is it's loving. And it's going to, like, my intuition gives me advice and guidance on some things I don't even know. I have to look it up. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, your super conscious mind is literally your genius potential. Steve Jobs used this, and he would go on walks for 2 hours a day doing transcendental meditation and clearing his mind to be able to clear it for download. And the problem is, up until 2020, all of us were so super busy, we could not even hear our intuition if we tried because we were just going, 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 doing, doing, doing. But if we ask for the guidance, listen, allow it to download, really hear what our intuition is trying to say, maybe journal about it, and then we can take inspired action. And I promise you, this is what I've been doing for 20 years. It's not some marketing secret. It leads me to the right place at the right time, to the right class, to the right people, to allow me to use my divine talent, skills, and abilities to be abundantly paid to serve the world. And that is your call
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Ahora mismo. Come on, do the
Hoy,
keynote.
no
Preach it.
mañana, hoy. Oh my goodness, this is like a mic drop. Oh my God. Ask, listen, hear,
Drop it. No, I'm
and drop.
kidding. Drop
There you go. Drop
it.
it. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love this. I love this. So now, you as a speaker, now that you're not on physical stages, because now, of course, what's going on in this world, they're not allowing us to go and speak on stages. So, what did your intuition tell you you needed to do now?
Yeah, so I'm actually not on physical stages, but I'm just like super blessed because I'm still doing speeches, but I'm doing speeches from my home without shoes on. I can't tell you. I've been wearing heels since I was 15, and I'm like around J Lo's age almost. Um, I'm J Lo age. That's what age I am. And since I stopped wearing heels, I'm now able to start running again. I rehabilitated my injury that I have. It was like so many blessings. So I actually, it took me a couple months to pivot because it was kind of a shock. So like when this happened in March, and I literally for the first time ever had started getting international bookings
Yeah.
because in January I spoke at a plastic surgeon conference on marketing, and all of these doctors were referring me to conferences, girl, in Monaco, in
Ooh.
in Medellin,
Can I go with you?
Colombia.
Can I
Yeah,
go with you?
in Medellin, Colombia. In I got to go back to Italy. Like this was being scheduled Vancouver. They all got canceled. And for a minute, I started, I'm like, do I file for unemployment? Like what's gonna happen? And I just did exactly what I told you to do. I asked, I listened, I heard, and then I took inspired action. So I started focusing a little bit more on my coaching because I do business coaching for small businesses to increase their revenue. And I started doing that. I started working on an Ignite Your Revenue program for small businesses. And then slowly, slowly, the speaking gigs started coming back. So the digital marketing strategies that I teach about like how to get found on YouTube, on Google, it worked for me. And so companies, big companies like CBS, this Stella's, which is a pharmaceutical company, they found me on YouTube and they hired me. And I did keynote speaking for Hispanic Heritage Month right here in my living room.
Oh my
Didn't
God.
have to fly, didn't have to park, got the same fee.
Oh,
Right, right.
that is very, very important because I mean,
Well, it was a little bit of a discount, but not too much.
not
I
too
mean, the discount was really just the discount of what it would have cost to fly me.
right.
But my fee stayed the same,
Stay
and
the
I was going to lower my fee, but I have so many coaches. I have about 5 coaches, and one of my coaches, who's a powerful Latina speaker, Begina Echevarria, she's one of the top #1 speakers, the National Speakers Association, the only Latina to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, along with like amazing speakers like Les Brown. Anyway, she told me, "Do not lower your fee," and so I didn't, and then I got it.
Oh, perfect. Well, of course. I mean, you have the coaches that you listen to, and your intuition said, you know what? I'm going to pay attention to my coach, and I'm not going to lower my fee.
And this is a big message for everyone because I hear people like I had people I was coaching yesterday that said, "Oh, we're about to go on another lockdown. I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to do it." The external world has nothing to do with your soul's contract and your career path. When
Mhm.
you are focused on solving the pain or problem that is your gift and talent that your ideal target market has, the universe is going to align and connect you with those people. That is your talent. That is why you were born. That is why you came on the earth. So I told my clients, do not buy into the fact that just because we're going to go on another lockdown, that you can't go forward with your business, with your podcast, with your YouTube channel, whatever idea you have. Keep going, move forward, and focus on service. Focus on the talents that you have to give, and you will, like the Paulo Coelho, like the universe will conspire for your good. You will be connected.
Yes, amen to that. Focus on service.
Yes.
I think that oftentimes we focus more on, like, oh, well, what is it in for me versus what is it for the community, for the greater good. And I think
Yeah.
that's such a valuable lesson to learn, that we are human beings in this global community, and we have the power to serve one another, even though if we believe our voice is small, it doesn't matter. It's like incremental.
Mm.
Give, because that's the way to a happier soul, and just living life in a high vibration.
Exactly. And by the way, when I say be of service, I do not mean not get paid for your work. So there's a difference, right? So
Yes.
when you focus your energy and your intention, and even ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, how can I serve today? How can I allow, this was my question I would always ask when I was feeling stuck. How can I allow my divine talents, skills, and abilities to be best served in the world? And also, I had to add, and also be abundantly paid to do what I love. Because when I didn't add the end abundantly paid, I kept getting free opportunities and I kept feeling resentful. I'm like, why? I have all this, but it's because that's what I was putting out there. So you can focus on being of service and be abundantly paid, but it's, your energy is not from a place of getting or taking. It's exactly what Jacqueline said. It's give, 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 and then connect, allow, give. And the same thing with social media. They say 80% of the time you should be giving great content, and then the 20% of the time you do an offer where you invite them to get on your newsletter list so that, they get your great podcast.
Wow. Yes, yes, yes. 80% is content. And it is so
Yeah,
true. It is so true. And as someone who's in this new world, I like to say, because obviously before it was all like litigation and
right.
being in court. And yes, you were of service to your client,
Yeah,
but there was something bigger out there.
right.
Just it was so, I personally, I feel like it, like, yes, my talents were great going to court and advocating and positioning myself there, but I have found more ease and grace in
Mm,
this new world. And
yes.
it's because I found my soul's contract.
Ah,
You know what I mean? And I love how you said
exciting.
it. It's the soul contract.
Yeah.
You know, I know you've been in this world for so long in terms of the coaching and speaking. Was there something in your childhood that kind of was like, you know what? You're destined for more, you're destined for more, you're destined for more.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember this pivotal experience that I had when I was like in third grade, and like we were asked to recite the Declaration of Independence. And I remember like some of the kids standing up and they were just kind of like doing it. They didn't have the heart and soul. And I remember thinking, because I was always the teacher's pet, because I love to learn. I love school. I love to sit in the front. Let me answer the question. You know what I mean? So I felt like kids kind of hated me. And so I had this point, turning point in my mind. I was like, you could be like the other kids and half-ass it, or you could give it your all and be like Martin Luther King and like, and I chose to like stand out instead of to play small. And it really was a turning point. I was like, and you know what? People probably did hate me, but I needed to, but except for the teacher, right? I just had to go full out. And I remember my dad, who, had immigrated from Colombia, and he had this really heavy, kind of like Ricky Ricardo accent. And he went to Toastmasters, nonprofit organization to help improve your speaking and your speeches. And he would practice his speeches, and I would love how passionate he was and how motivating he was. And I was like, oh my God, he lights up the room. And I really believe at the subconscious level, I got a lot of my ability to carry a room from watching my dad and from seeing how he was always so passionate and so determined to be better. And one of the things that the phrase that my mentor, Dr. Michael Beckwith, who's seen in The Secret,
Right.
he was the one that licensed me and ordained me as a spiritual counselor. He says that mediocrity will always challenge excellence.
Ah,
So isn't that great? Drop
oh
the
my,
mic.
yes,
Mediocrity
boom,
will
boom,
always
right
challenge
there.
excellence. So
Yes.
there are people around you. Why aren't you happy just with your job just over broke? Or you should be grateful to settle that you just have a paycheck or you just have a roof over your head. I don't believe that we as Latinas, we as humans are meant to live a life of just getting by.
Yes.
Or we're meant to live a life where we're abundant, but we hate our job or it's affecting our physical well being. We deserve to have a life where we have a joy, not a job, where we're doing what we love, being abundantly paid for it, and fulfilling our soul's contract.
Oh my God, I love that. We deserve joy, not a job.
Yeah, we deserve to have a joy, not a job. And I realized that, and this is like my background of my story. My brother passed away when he was 16. and I was 19, and it made me realize we don't have the luxury to wait till tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's why I started the company Passionate Living Now. It's like we don't know, and especially now with 2020 the way it is, it's like everything every day it's something it's like a crazy movie that we're living in, that the plot is constantly twisting, and we're like, what's
Right.
happening with the election? And like it's like we work so hard to get this everybody to vote. No, it's like, what are we doing? Anyway, so, I mean, there is a tendency when there's so much unknown, even my thinking about it, go into a little anxiety. And I just have to practice what I preach and just breathe and
Right.
just trust that there is a divine order, and that the divine order that brings up the sun, that brings up the moon, that brings up the planets, that is circulating the air, that is beating our heart, that's running the blood through our veins, is conspiring for
Ooh,
our good and the good of all concerned. And we have to trust that.
yes, amen to that. Divine order conspiring for our good. Amigas, you hear that? Please pay attention, listen, digest it because it's so true. The universe is always conspiring for our greater good.
Hmm.
Oh my Lord, I love this. You know, I mean, I feel that a lot of amigas out there really, really will resonate with this message, especially now, because now is the time. It is an amazing opportunity to do what you were destined to do. If you have that 9 to 5 job that you hated, well, guess what, girl? Hey, joy, not a job, you know?
Yeah. And for people that feel like they don't have the money, there are free resources. I can give this to you to have on your podcast notes.
Definitely.
So I do consulting through the SBA, the Small Business Administration. If you go to smallbizla.org, and you can get consulting at no cost. That's how I started my business. They help you write a business plan. They help you with your financials if you want to get a loan. They help you if you need to get a PPP. They help you to get a business license. They help you with social media, is what I do with them. They help you with sales strategy. They have legal people. They have 10 consultants that are all there to help you increase your revenue. And we really want to help people that are starting small businesses for the first time. And it's no cost to you.
Wow, amigas, you heard that. You heard that. And we're definitely going to put it in the show notes so that you can circle back and go and research and apply because these are resources that are out there, but sometimes we just ignore them or we don't know about them. And so
Right.
today you're hearing it from Deborah right now. That,
Or your ego that's not your amigo will say, "Oh, I just don't have the money," or
yes.
"There's no opportunities out there." And your mind is literally like a Google search engine. So whatever you search for is what you're gonna find. So if you're living in scarcity, all fear, all the time, you're gonna be looking for lack, limitation, there's fires, there's earthquakes. But if you're looking for possibility, you'll be like, Small Business Development Center. For those of you that are not in LA, not in California, this is throughout the whole 50 states. So just go to your Google Small Business Development Center, find the location nearest you. You'll get free services,
Wow.
free business coaching. So I want you to shift your focus, and it's hard with the media. That's why Facebook, Google, and Twitter are on trial right now with Congress because of allowing false news to be put out, right? So
Right.
there is so much negative information, and there's so much untrue information because that gets people more anxious, which
Yes.
gets people to watch more. It's like an addictive cycle that the news and the social media likes. So we have to take, this is where I'm going to say, handle your shit. You need to turn off the television,
Hell yeah.
turn off the news, and turn on, instead of watching the television, you need the television of your own life, friends. What
Ah,
is your vision?
speak it.
What do you want to do with
Amen.
your life?
Girl, say it, say it, say it, say, oh my goodness. Yes. I keep telling my family, I'm like, why are you watching the news? Same thing, saying la misma fregadera, la misma cosa. ¿Para qué? Like, why? Why are you tainting your brain, your soul with that nastiness out there? You don't need to hear that. Let's hear positive stories. Let's go out to the ocean. Let's go to the mountains.
Exactly. If and I was, when the election happened, it's normal to watch it. I want to find out what's happening. But I was like, if something happens, I will know. So here I am, Saturday morning, laying in bed because I had been watching the news the last 2 days. And I hear all these people. I'm in Venice Beach down the street from Jacqueline. All these people screaming, yay! I was like, wait a minute, the Lakers already won. The Dodgers already won. It was the same screams as the Lakers and the Dodgers. And it was like, oh, it's Biden. He won. Because everybody was screaming everywhere, like, yay, beeping their horns for
Yeah.
hours and everything.
Yes. And now we have a woman of color in a fucking high ass position.
I loved Kamala.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I do too. I mean, I know there's some people that don't, but what I do I love and appreciate it is that despite her coming from the prosecutorial side, which is definitely not really aligned with my vibration as
Right.
more of a defense, because I'm always for the people. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Yes.
But she actually would handle her cases in a very ethical manner,
Good.
and knowing that just because you have alleged criminal in front of you doesn't mean that that person doesn't have a history and a reason
Exactly.
for why this is happening. So I
Exactly.
do like her and I think she's going to do amazing things, and I am super proud that she's going to be the vice president next year. And it's like it's beautiful for other amigas, little
So
small
true.
amigas who can visualize themselves on that platform.
I know. I love it. I saw the little icon that they had where they had all the president's white males. And then you see a little brown girl and you're like, "Yes, that's us."
Hasta que por fin,
Por
100
fin.
years,
Por
100
fin.
years of being allowed to vote. Although
Right.
we all know that that's kind of like okay, only Caucasians and very minimal with money could vote in the beginning. But now we get someone with the same color as my skin, and that is so awesome. I'm so proud and so grateful. Now I can honestly say I'm so happy to be an American.
Ah, I love it. I love it.
I'm
Yes.
very, very grateful. Oh my goodness, amiga, you are just a wealth of goodness, of amazingness. I'd love to have you here all day.
I know, me too. I was just thinking the same thing, Jacqueline. I'm like, oh my God, I love your energy. I could just sit here all day for 10 hours and be fine.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. My God, you've done so much that I feel like, okay, where do I go now? Where do I go now? You mentioned that you're working on another book, and
Yes.
I really wanted to talk a little bit about that because I know your first book was. Let me remind me what was the name. I got it.
Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So is this part two or is this a
No,
completely
this
different?
is this is a completely different book. I wrote that book with my co-author, was my business partner, Adelaide Denton, and we met at our spiritual counseling center, Agape International, and she was my yoga teacher, and she was teaching me to breathe and Kundalini and breath work, and we ended up becoming business partners. And she had told me, you got to be careful because we were writing about the adrenaline addiction while I was still recovering, and like in burnout, the residuals of burnout, where my residual was I wouldn't just get a cold. I had totally depleted my immune system. I would be in pneumonia on the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so thank God I recovered from that because I wouldn't make it through 2020 with how my immune system was before. And she had gotten to the point where she got lupus. And this is a word to the wise for all of you burnout type A personality. She passed away at age 60.
Oh my God.
So this lifestyle of go, 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 do, burnout. I mean, she had caught it when she was like 45 and, but it was by that time too late. Because
Right.
when we stress our body out, and you can read about Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's neuroscience expert, quantum physics. You go to his YouTube, he talks all about the brain and how when we go into sympathetic stress mode, we are thinking we need to save the day, and all of our systems get compromised, and we need to switch to parasympathetic, which is where we can rest and digest, focus, think, get those divine downloads. So if you're not able to get the divine downloads, which I wasn't for a long time, even when I had recently moved to the beach, but when I was living in my other house, the house started falling apart. You always get signs that it's time to move on, whether it's from a relationship or from a career or from a job. And this was from the house. Like once you get three signs, it's time to go. And
Yeah.
so I knew it was time to go. But when I was there, I couldn't write the book. And I realized because the Align for Success book is not about theory, It's about practice. In fact, the book, Jacqueline, is
Yeah.
going to be interactive with YouTube exercises. So I'm not just going to say switch from stress to rest and digest. I'm going to lead you through a process to be able to do that.
Oh,
So it's like going to be a coaching
yeah.
training in a book. And it's really, really excited about it because it's the how. It's how to do the inner work. It's how to hear your intuition. It's how to understand your soul's contract. Because I can't just say you need to do that. I need to show people how to do it and lead them through it. So that book's being downloaded. I'm also working on, which I'm really excited about, this new Ignite Your Revenue program.
Yeah.
And this program is a way that, because when I coach people, I mostly coach doctors and professionals. Not everyone, especially right now,
Right.
has money to invest in a coach. And I want to make my services accessible to everyone. So I created this Ignite Your Revenue program, which is like the Netflix of
Oh,
professional development on mindset, marketing, and manifestation. So I have done over 30 webinars on social media marketing. And what I'm doing with this Ignite Your Revenue is I'm putting all my content in there. So people are going to have like a Deb Bizflix. So you need to get the mindset to stop sabotage, to start procrastinating. You
yeah.
need to learn how to manifest. I love what you said, Jacqueline, my favorite word, ease and grace.
Yeah.
So like yesterday was our first group coaching program, and I led a process where people could attract their ideal target market with energetically.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm doing this offer. I did this offer on 11/11 where people can do an 11-day trial for $11.11.
Oh
So
my
no,
God.
I know. So nobody has any excuse, and then the regular price is 111, but I'm even giving a discount on that. So I'm just so excited because it allows me, because I have so much information, like you said, and it allows me to put it into this portal where they can have all the information, and then once a month they basically pick my brain. We do group coaching. And then there's also support because we have so much negative news, but where's the contrary positive news?
Right.
Where, and what people loved about it last night, because everyone's so accomplished, but everybody had the same limiting belief, that fear, that imposter syndrome. And
Yeah.
when they saw a professional lawyer, a professional doctor, a professional person all having the same thing, they're like, I'm not alone. We all have it, but we can all go forward. And so that's my job in the group, to ignite a fire so that any hesitation that you have, that I can help you override your ego and align for success. So that's that new program that's out now.
So now, can any amiga register now?
Yeah, they can register now. It's an ongoing program, so it's open enrollment, and they can just go to my website deborahderas.com, click events, and there'll be the link to register right there.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. There's so much love out there. You are giving your A game always. I mean, you're so impressive, and I'm so honored that you were here with us. Before I let you go, like I always ask my guests, I'm like, one or two tips how to handle your shit.
So the very first thing that I would like everyone to do is to create a let go list. We
Ooh,
we all have a to-do list, but we need to have a let go list. And that let go list could be to let go of procrastination, to let go of perfectionism. That let go list could be to reduce the amount of time you're watching the news. Maybe you don't want to get rid of it altogether, but maybe watch a 5-minute summary on YouTube instead of watching an hour show. So creating a let go list. And some of us need to, I had to let go of some toxic people. I didn't want to because I want to think I can help people and change people. It's the
of course.
people pleaser in me. So I
Yeah.
had to let go of people pleasing by letting go of some people. The other thing that I have that invite you to do, it's perfect for the show, to have a GSD list. So get shit done list. I love it. I just downloaded it to me. I didn't even think about that before this call. So a GSD list. And what you're going to, on your GSD list, you're going to have three categories, three
Ooh,
Ds. You like my D, super D, right?
super
So
D.
you're going
Deborah.
to have a do it list, and the do it list, you're going to schedule it in your calendar, see it in your life. So
Ooh,
you're not going to do things unless it's in your calendar. I
right.
literally have everything in my calendar. Listen to the podcast, do this, do that. So you're going to have a do it list. Then you're also going to have a delegate list. In order for you to be successful, especially if you're working a full time job and you're thinking of transitioning, you need support. You could get a virtual assistant Go to upwork.com or onlinejobs.ph. You can find or an intern from a community college if you want to be support the local community, but we need to delegate in order to grow and scale. And then the final list is delete. If something is on your list, like my book was on my list for a long time and I had to delete it off until I moved. I have a rule of thumb that I can only have 3 major projects, like a program, a podcast, a book. Like those are projects.
Yes.
So I have a 3 rule. So you have a get shit done list, you're going to have a do it when you're going to schedule in your calendar, see in your life, you're going to have a delegated list, and you're going to have a deleted list. And when you delete it, doesn't mean it's gone forever. It's just gone for now, and then you could bring it back, like I'm bringing back finishing my book.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm gonna get my shit done list ready to go. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, God, you're such a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. And obviously, I'm gonna want you to come back if
Of
you.
course.
Thank you so much, my love. Like I said, I could be here all day with you.
Me too. I could easily be with you. I'm just so blessed that our mutual friend Veronica connected us. We're such kindred spirits. Ever
Yeah.
since I met you, I loved you from the beginning. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your show, and anything I could do to support your listeners,
Oh,
I'm here.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. All the honor is mine. Thank you. And I know I'm definitely going to have you on. I know amigas are going to be commenting and saying, like, oh my God, where can I get more of Deborah? Because basically, amiga, wow, I'm
And
going to.
by the way, when they go to my website, deborahderas.com, they'll get a free video to Align for Success, which will put them on my newsletter list and they'll get invitations to lots of great events.
Beautiful. You hear it now, amiga. Like she said, you got to handle your shit, get your shit done list, and
Yeah.
let go list. So do those things and you're on your way. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. I'm
Thank you.
truly honored.
And remember,